everyone, Dave Axel, Weekly Band Crawl, July 4th weekend, and you have heard me say Murder Hornets, and I think every guest I've had has said, that's a cool name. That's a cool name. And then, of course, Tom made a post and said, here's some of the cool names, and I figured I should bring the band on and find out about the band so I can say more than just love the name, haven't seen the band. Now, truthfully, because I play so much, I haven't gotten to see the band yet. I've known Tyler a long time, but haven't gotten to see the band yet. But I want to tell everybody a little bit about what you guys are doing. I just kind of fill them in. And what's interesting here is you're my first band to bring a handler, right? So Haley is the one who sends me everything.
Yeah. Well, that's Mama Hornet.
Mama Hornet.
Right. There you go.
We are the Hornets because of her. We're busy.
I see.
We play. She tells me what drum set to bring and where to be.
Oh, so you're the boss.
She's the manager.
You're the boss.
She's the one that books the band and does everything.
She tells us quiet, loud, inside, outside. You know what I mean?
Really? So these guys, you just kind of wind them up and point them where they're going to go.
Take a whip and go.
All right. Well, I didn't even know you weren't in the band until you told me when you got here. I just assumed you sang.
Oh, hell no.
And it was, okay. So there we go. So now I know. So
we're an ugly three-piece with a nice handler.
So from what I understand, so you guys are together, which is how you wound up doing the band. Okay, understood. How did I know? Who put this together? Let me just start there. Who put this together?
That's a long story. He's no longer with us.
Okay, was that Mike Bailey?
Mike Bailey, Great guy.
Yep. Yeah. So he put the band together.
Yeah. So we've known Mike. I've known Tyler for 10, 12 years now. I've known Mike for about that long. And we've kind of put a couple projects together that just didn't really seem to go anywhere.
Drummers!
And, Mike called me up one day and said, hey, I'm running this open jam, come down and play. And I saw Tyler was there, and Tyler and I get along really well, so it was like, all right, let's go see what we can pull together this time around.
And now Slack isn't the original, you're not the original drummer.
No.
So where did you get him?
That's the
We
jam
took a break.
So
then we started doing it, and
like
then Mike called me, and we were hosting an open mic over at Dale Sales, back in the day. And, and then ended up with Mike and I. So he started showing up to the open jam.
I showed up with a cajon.
cajon.
And then the drum sets got bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Like, can I bring a full drum? And I brought a little three-piece. Well, can I bring a little one? And then
before you know it.
And then, and then they moved us inside. We were outside at the time. We moved inside.
So you kind of were the house jam band for a while.
Yeah, we hosted the,
And you're a three-piece.
Yeah, we're three-piece
So you're
now.
singing. Do you play an instrument at all, or you just sing?
I play guitar.
Okay, guitar and sing, you're on bass, you're on drums, and they've already warned me they're not going to let you sing.
Yeah,
you don't get to sing.
I don't get to sing.
Yes, we'll have to tell people later about Simple Man becoming Simple Can of Spam. That explains a lot about why you don't sing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are you guys playing? Right, like musically, do you hear Murder Hornets and you think Slayer? Right, like you think metal band, you think,
really?
what are you playing?
We have the most eclectic set list that you've ever heard. We will go from Godsmack to George Strait in the same set.
Okay.
From John Denver to Tool.
Okay.
Back to Duran Duran, Cure.
So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, all over the place.
And the idea was when we kind of started playing, the three of us and Mike were actually playing with a blues band at another open jam too.
Okay.
And I was actually playing upright bass, and then he came in and took over bass duties so that I could just kind of play with my mixer and stuff like that, sing whenever I wanted, play guitar whenever I wanted. And we kind of decided when we put this together that we wanted to make sure that we could cover a little bit of everything, because personally, I've always been told, no, you can't do that. You have to have a genre. And I said, bullshit. Yeah. I'm not going to have a genre. I'm going to go cover every genre I possibly can. If I can sing it, we're going to do it.
So we're talking, now you mentioned John Denver, so we're all the way down there, right? We're all the way down there.
It was requested.
Which one are you, Country Roads?
Yes, somebody asked us to play it at a gig one night. Long sob story, his wife had just passed away, and they were getting ready to do the viewing the next day, and he came out and he said, I'd really appreciate if you guys did this, and then he explained why. And we took a break, went right outside, and I said I
Give
played
it
it when I was a
2-second
kid.
listen, yeah.
So we pulled it up, and he wanted. We tried to tell him no, we don't want a tip. This is for you.
Right.
And he just wouldn't hear it.
And it's always awesome when you
and then he
prove
kept
something
coming.
nice for
Wait,
somebody.
Every
Yeah,
time we
it's
play
obvious.
that venue, he's there.
Nice.
So
So you've got I've heard John Denver, I've heard Duran Duran. I think you mentioned The Cure.
Yeah, we do the Cure.
I heard Godsmack. So
Uh-huh.
are you
yeah,
guys
we do
doing Take On Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Take
Are
on
you
me.
singing Take On Me?
Yes.
Like, is there like clamps involved? Like, how are we hitting these?
I
believe
Take
it or
On Me
not,
knows.
that's one of the jokes. One of the venues we play handed her one of those hand grabby things.
There you go.
And she stands up and kind of goes like this at me when I have to hit that note. And
That
of
is
course,
no
everybody
joke.
laughs at us.
That is no joke.
It's
That
a
is
falsetto note.
That's,
I
it's-
mean,
that's still pretty darn high. So when you walk, okay, so playing all of that, you can kind of play anywhere. Do you have enough that if you walk into a club and it's a southern rock crowd, you can just
The Florida 40, we know if that's what you're
Uh-huh.
asking. Yes, he's good at reading the crowd. We don't play by a set list. We know all our songs. He's got this knack for you play a country song, it didn't work. You know, you play a pop song, chicks start dancing. You take that. You know, you play a rock song that seems, and we. You know, he can read the crowd and know by playing a song, you can tell the crowd reaction a little bit. So you know where to go from there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I mean, you play a country song and you get crickets.
that's
You
the
know,
last
it's
one.
there on the country.
That's the last
You
one.
gotta
lay
lay
off
off.
Even if you play some of the pop 80s stuff and chicks aren't dancing, no, move on. Off to the rock. You know
That's
what I mean? But
awesome
that's,
that you
I
guys
mean,
can
like I
just
said, we don't have a
shift
set
around.
list. And like I said, he has a knack for, you can look out the crowd and see what, you know, when you
Sure.
see when people are tapping or when people pick up their phone, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or, you know, people start drawing in like, wait, they're, you
So
know,
now you're
now
not
they're playing
using
my
it. You're
song.
not using a set list.
I have an
We have lists
iPad
of
on
songs.
stage
and he
that
kinda
has
picks them out, you
Yeah.
know,
like
not
a
in
whole list
order.
of songs.
But there's
and-
no preordained set list.
No.
You're
No,
just
no, no,
looking
no.
at the iPad and saying.
You go, okay,
Let's
let's
do this
one.
one.
Let's
So
do
of course the
that.
obvious question is, if you guys are on stage and mom is in the crowd, how's that working? Are you just picking them on your own, or you telling
Yeah, she
them?
don't know. And so-
I-
So once everybody's on stage, you've done your job.
When they're on stage, it's a party, and they want everybody to come
Yeah,
to
that's
join
what
their
we
party.
have fun playing together, and that's I
So-
think that's a lot of our draw on what people
That's
talk
why
about.
we mix it up. And we don't have a specific genre because, you know, our philosophy is like, if you don't like this song, you should like the
Stick
next
around.
one. you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
In 2
yeah.
to
And so
3,
we
you're gonna
read
like
people
something we
depending
do.
on
Yeah,
people's,
exactly.
on the room. That's how we react and, you know, feed
Yeah.
off the people.
But we
And-
enjoy playing together, and that feed I think
Well,
that's
you
our
can see
feed on
that.
stage.
You guys all get along.
You know, I mean,
fun.
we're on
It's-
stage, we
Pete
click,
and
we
Tyler are
rock.
wireless, so they do interact with the crowd. They are
Oh,
yeah,
with
they'll
the crowd.
always.
They,
They leave me
dance.
alone all the time.
We-
You'll see
dance
Slack
with
just going
everybody,
like
you know,
this. Where did my band go? Because they'll
Yeah,
be
it's,
way down
it's
the
the
road.
spectacle. We're entertained. I mean, we play music.
But
We're
that's good,
musicians.
though.
We take the music.
That's good,
But
though.
you've got to entertain.
If you don't want to be
If
entertained,
you're-
you can
I mean,
stay home and listen to the
you-
radio, right? Like, I
Right.
mean,
Well, you
know,
see those bands up on stage. I call them hoopa hoops. They stand in one spot, and you know, I mean, you see
Sure.
the bass player. He's looking at his watch. Dude, you're paid to play music.
With
Why
a
do you
long
look
face,
miserable?
you know, like it's
Yeah,
John, you know,
it
for us
just-
it's a big party, you know?
Yeah,
And how often are you guys playing out? I see you on the band crawl all the time.
every weekend.
I
Pretty
think-
much. Once. I think we had a couple.
They
We're
had
booked
last
to
week.
January.
We had last weekend off.
Do I-
Actually, I think you sent me a message and you were like, "You won't believe this, but we're off."
Yes.
Yeah, we had.
I
we
think it
had
was
a
something
weekend
like
off.
that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
just-
So you're doing JJ's, which
Yeah,
by the way,
that's-
I got corrected on JJ's. Haley was funny. I always
Yeah.
thought JJ's was a store because it says Packin' Lounge.
No,
So I'm picturing the
it's-
band in front of the Doritos, 3 dials down. Like I didn't understand that. And you said it's actually a pretty big
That's a nice.
bar inside.
I've talked to musicians that, dude, I played there 20 years ago. I played there 15. You know what I mean? Just
Nice.
in the
It's
circle
nice.
of
So you're
musicians.
doing that. You're doing
It's
the
Sorrento because they
alibi.
got another JJ in DeLand, but this one.
No,
it's
I
in
know the one in
Sorrento.
Sorrento. Yeah. It's you've got Alibi, and that's Geneva,
Yes.
Yeah, it's out in
right?
Geneva.
And then give me the other ones you were telling me about.
Pirates Oasis.
Now where is that?
Weir'sdale?
Wearsdale.
Where's-
Okay, that's out by Long's Log Cabin in Wearsdale.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Oh no, they're in
No,
Wallacca.
No, they're
They're in
Wallacca,
Wallacca. Never mind.
yeah, that's
I'm getting my W's confused.
We
Where else?
play
It's
at
out off
Boot
of
Hill.
42 out on the river.
Yeah, I'm not out that way as much as I should be.
We play at Boot Hill.
But hell.
Boot Hill. Oh, actually, I think I've seen you on their roster a couple times.
Yeah.
How do you like Boot Hill?
Well, I worked there back in
Pretty cool.
early 2000, so I love the place.
So playing
venue.
that wide mix,
Yes.
how does the crowd do?
They love it.
They love
I
it.
love it.
Yeah, is it a
I think
diverse
so.
enough crowd that you can get away with
well,
going
like I
from
said,
the one to the other to the other?
You kind of, he reads the crowd, figures out what gets the chicks dancing, because once
Sure.
he gets the chicks dancing, then the bar's
everybody's
kind of
happy.
sold.
That's the only bar we can't run off, though.
Yeah, there's a ride.
They
No,
got a
there's no
barrier
way.
stage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
there's-
get it. I get it.
Oh,
but-
did they install an actual barrier?
Yeah,
or is
they
it
have
just
Yeah,
a
there's a
barrier.
gate now because somebody went out and did something they weren't supposed
They
to.
fell off stage.
Because the
We
first
don't know
time
the
I
bands
played
that
there,
got
I
on
got
the
yelled at
tables
for
and-
running out and
You're
going
not allowed to do
outside.
that anymore.
Try to avoid a lawsuit. I get it.
No, look, everybody's running around with their lawyer now.
Yeah,
I
basically.
totally get it. And we used to play Main Street a lot, back with Psycho Magnets. And it was always cool to just go next door to Boot Hill. It's a great vibe.
Yeah.
Those two bars together are like, you can just go back and forth all night, and it's a lot of fun.
But you
Yeah,
can't play
absolutely.
both.
No, you cannot.
So that's,
You
yeah.
can- well, and I get that because they're literally like, they're back to back.
Yeah.
Right?
but
So, I
it's-
mean, I guess if a band is playing the one,
But you go down to Flagler Avenue in New Smyrna, and all those
plays
bars
there.
support each other.
they do.
It's a
I'll tell you
different
this.
vibe on that street.
I'll tell you this, they do. We're at Traders this weekend, and for a long time, they didn't want you going bar to bar either. They didn't want you, if you played Traders, to play Flagler unless there was a 6-month gap.
Whoa.
And
okay,
they didn't.
okay,
And so they kind of had the same thing. And what's weird I'm totally off topic, but what's weird for us is we actually decided, like Traders told us, if you want to go play Flagler Tavern, go do it. And we pursued that for a little bit and then said, no. We played Traders. They've been good to us. It's right up the road. Like, I'm not going to dilute the brand and be like, oh, we're not going to go see Mayhem at Traders because we're going to go 3 doors down and see them at Flagler. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
okay,
mean? So,
yeah.
like, I could get if someone plays Main Street all the time or Boot Hill all the time. It'd be a little bit of a slap in the face to the bar to be like, we're 8 feet over, and our crowd's coming to there now. Especially if they follow the band, which it sounds like you're the kind of band that they get. Do the fans that you have know you guys? Like, do they they come up and talk to you guys on the break and
Yes.
right and
Oh, yeah.
we
we're-
mingle with with people at break time. We don't hide in the cars. We
Oh,
try
yeah,
to.
it's-
We also play at Mark's Sports Pub.
I haven't been there in years.
They're pretty
okay.
Mark is a great guy.
Yep, always
Yes,
was.
he is.
Yes.
Fun venue.
Does he still have the no crazy bitch sign in the corner, or is that gone now?
I think it's there.
It's still there.
I
Huh?
think it's still there.
I believe it. Yeah, that's a really cool
Winners.
bar.
And we play
Yeah,
at Winners
Orange.
Pub.
Orange.
in
Oh, I
Fort Myers.
haven't been there, but I've heard of that. So you guys got
Yeah.
quite a few venues under your belt, but you're mostly Daytona area, right?
Well,
He's just got us all over the place.
All over, because
We also do Eagles clubs and
I think we just talked to the
things
Moose,
for,
one of the Mooses.
because he's a
He's a vet.
serviceman, so.
Oh,
we-
really?
Yeah.
Thanks
so
for your
we-
service. Didn't know that.
Anytime.
So we just make, they ask. and
Make
he
the
said-
run.
Yeah.
Sure. Where are you looking to get into? You're playing where you're playing. Where do you want to play next?
we go anywhere from where, like from Bombay all the way
Love to
down
get
to
into
Melbourne
Fins
to
and Flagler.
Oh,
Fins
Fins.
Flagler. That's,
Yeah. We
Yeah.
played there. That's a really cool club.
Like I said,
Love
I'd love
to
it.
be
That's a
Great
really
venue.
cool
Haven't
club.
played there yet. Like to know a bunch of people that
I would
direction.
like-
So
I'm sorry,
Well,
I'm
you- no,
interrupted.
go ahead.
Just because ever since I moved to Florida, every band I've been in, everybody always wants to play Dexter's, and they want to play. It's over on the other side of.
Talking about Cafe
I-4.
Murano.
No. It's not Shovelhead. It's
So there's
right
Green
in that
Parrot.
area.
There's Green Parrot. There's Shovelhead. There's Post Time. There's
Post
Dexter's.
So
Well,
those
there's post
two,
time.
everybody has always told me, you got to play at these two places. You got to play at these two places. I've never been into either of them.
Really?
So
So Dexter,
I just would
20
like to
years
play
ago.
there just to say I did it.
Dexter's is it's in Lake Mary. They have a really cool setup for the band. There's no stage or anything, but there's like this little half circle, and you kind of put your gear in there, and they have their own light show. You don't have to bring, unless you want to supplement. What's nice about Dexter's is, I want to explain this the right way. They have a clientele of their own, and people come there expecting to have a good time. And so
Okay,
if you're
yeah,
bringing some people with you, they're gonna have a built-in crowd there, and if you're keeping their crowd happy and supplementing with your own, it's gonna be a good night.
okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And It's the staff is super nice. It's a super easy load in. That John is the manager over there. He's great. Like, that's a cool place to play. Low stress, and people walk in looking to have fun. You don't have to convince them.
Cool.
You know, it's always kind of been the vibe there.
Well,
now, post time doesn't bug us. I'm in a dance band, straight up dance band. We stopped banging our head on that wall ages ago. But they have a really diverse group of bands that roll through there. They have, I think, Fractures this weekend. Papa Wheelie goes through there. Rocket Fly goes through there. There's a lot of good bands. There's a lot of Red Line. I want to say Red Line. Don't hold me to it. I get, I see so many of them on the band crawls.
Right.
But they've got a really wide mix. Skin Deep is in there. Cobalt 27 is in there. Like, that is another place that I think the crowd comes in there looking to have a good time. They have an actual stage, like an honest old-fashioned, like elevated off the ground stage. Deanna's the manager there. She's fantastic. Everybody loves her. That is a very fun club to play too. Easy load in, easy load out, and the crowd's always looking to have a good time. And if you're playing the, Country Roads, Hungry Like the Wolf, and like, I've actually, Torn did their video demo there, and Torn gets super heavy, right? So I don't think there's anything you said that would be like, oh yeah, you shouldn't play there. What's interesting though, having said that, this is where I was going before I derailed, is so with all that variety of music, how did we wind up with Murder Hornets? Like, what is this about?
Bailey named it.
Yeah.
This band started literally during COVID. Like,
Right.
It was when we were outside. I called it Boxing the Rocks because I showed up with a cajon.
Okay, yeah.
Somehow Bailey got my number. Drummer saw me. Not sure how he found me. He was like, "Hey, we need a drummer." So I just show up with a cajon and then.
Why not?
But he had named the band.
Okay, so he named it.
And then left.
He came up with the name. We were kind of sitting around talking one night, and I think you were there with us. I know Mike and I were having this conversation, and I was a sailor. I have a foul mouth, so we got off on the left field, and we're cursing and swearing at each other, and he just looks at me and says, COVID started, it kind of destroyed everything. What happened to the fucking Murder Hornets?
Which was
And
used
I started
for a long
laughing,
time.
and he says, that's got to be the name of the band. And I was like, you know what, dude, you're right.
And that's it. And you kept it, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Yep, and that was how we had kind of started, when we started kind of bouncing around, everybody would ask us, where'd you come up with the name? Well, we're just like the Murder Hornets. We were here for about a day or two, and then you never saw us again.
There you go. Okay. Has that, this is probably the wrong way to ask a question, but I think you go to me. Has that impeded you at all? Like, so when I run down the band crawl names, right, you see them, you always associate, like, you hear the name, and if you haven't seen the band, sometimes the name of the band gives you at least a gist of what they're going to do. You know what I mean? And so to me, I heard more Murder Hornets, and I'm like, these guys are playing
Heavy metal.
Okay.
Yeah, heavy metal.
Metal, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're playing that kind of thing, but you guys sound like you're playing a little bit of that, but really, you're just a party band.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're a party band, and you play everything.
We
Our
played
motto is-
political rallies.
Yeah.
And they loved us being the Murder Hornets
Oh, I'm sure they
because
did.
of the joke of, the Murder Hornets. And then,
Where'd it go?
where'd they go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
We're all
that's
going to
like I
die. They're
said, we
coming
have
from
done
overseas, and then gone.
political rally things that
Yep.
they love. They all love the name because of the flash in the pan idea of it.
Yep.
And
Now, are you
yeah,
doing all
it's-
the promo? All of it is you?
It's all me.
The social media is you?
It's all me.
The
Yes.
bookings,
The booking, everything.
I used to do it, and once she started booking us, I said, here, take it.
Right. Oh my God, that's the worst part, right? Is that every club will tell you the worst part is dealing with the bands, and every band will tell you the worst part is dealing with the
she's
club.
very, very
No,
well
organized.
I recognize every bar we play at, every venue. I tell
She
them
sends out
thank
Christmas
you.
cards.
I send
Yep.
out Christmas cards.
Yep, there you go.
To thank them because if it wasn't for the venue owners, we would not have a job. to do
Right.
what
Wouldn't be
we do.
playing if there wasn't a place to play.
So I just, I take pictures of them playing. I send it to their page, put it on ours, so they know that we had a good time and we enjoyed your venue.
And this is probably a stupid question. Are there videos out there too?
Yes, I have videos
yeah,
all over the
yes.
page.
So I told her this before we started. There are 2 Murder Hornet pages with the exact same logo.
I'll have to look.
And I have a feeling like maybe Mike opened one and then you guys got one or what, I don't know, but there's, every time I go to tag you for the band crawl, there's 2. And one has like 130 something people on it. and I don't tag that one.
Was that the one out
But
of
it is.
California?
But no, it's not. That
It's
is
not
your
the company,
logo
Okay,
here, and so at some point you may want, because I don't want anybody to get confused looking for you. So there's videos they can check out and see the
Yes.
band. So
Yes.
my next thing would be, obviously that's a wide berth. If we go from Tool to John Denver, like you're bordering on Sybil, right? That's a really big. It's a really big. How are you picking these songs? How's it happen?
So, I kind of went on the internet one day, and I don't. What we play in this band is not what I listen to.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I went
yeah,
and I
that's
pulled
it.
up
Yeah,
lists
yeah.
of a couple different genres, and I said, "Give me the top 500 songs, and let me pick something that I know from each one of these lists."
Okay.
Because they were on the charts at some point, so
Yep.
everybody has to know them.
Yep, that's a good
And I
strategy.
said, all right, well, now we've got 10 of these rock songs. Let me just pick and choose a couple country songs off of that list. And kind of went from there, and then I said, oh, well, let's throw in some poppy new wave music. So we added
I
that
have to tell
too.
you, like, I'm definitely going to come see a show. I have to see
Well,
this.
awesome.
Like, this is a very
And a
eclectic
lot of with
mix.
us, if you want to hear the album version, there's the jukebox. We
For
put
what
our
it's worth.
spin on everything.
For what it's worth, so my band is a dance band,
Yeah.
and I have some very talented people in there. I just bang on my pots and pans. I've got a bunch of talent. We do that all the time. We're like, we don't care that they did that. We're not doing that. We're
Yeah,
going to
we-
do this.
I
We-
mean,
we
especially the
do that.
three-piece,
You
which-
almost have to, because again, to some degree, if everything is directly off the record, then stay home and listen to the record.
Yeah, that's.
And there are some exceptions to that. I mean,
Yeah,
Skin Deep
okay, yeah,
play
it
that
is.
stuff right off the record, and it's like an arena show. I get it. My Gen, Rocket Fly, like those guys that are just turning the record into a show.
Okay,
I get that too. But if you're a party band,
Right.
they're not coming to see my band or probably to see your band because they think you're going to do sticks exactly the way they did it. They're coming to have fun and jump around, and they know you're not going to do it the way they did it. They're especially three-piece.
Yeah,
Right? They're
it's-
expecting you to have to make everything your own. You know what I mean?
When
So
we first started, I was playing in two bands. I was playing with a band here in Orlando.
What was the
area
band here?
also. After 5.
okay.
So I was playing with them. Everything that we did was off the record. We were singing 4-part harmonies. I mean, it was a lot of work. And I always grew up, my whole family's musicians. The only reason that I kind of walked away from everything for a while is I didn't want to tour. I walked away from a record contract because I wanted to raise a family. I didn't want to be on the road.
I get that.
And I was very fortunate. I grew up in a very rural area, and I had 2 music teachers in school. One was an old 60s beatnik, and the other one was a 60s hippie. So
you got a very good spread.
Yeah. So we actually had touring bands in high school. We had 2 touring bands. We had a jazz band and a rock band. And every Monday night we would rehearse, and we'd switch back and forth every other week. So I was exposed to, I got to see Buddy Rich front row before he died.
That's awesome.
I mean, we got to see all kinds of things because these guys pushed us. At the end of the school year, we would take a school bus and a bunch of parents, and we would load it up, and we would go on tour, and we would play colleges all over the state.
That's awesome.
Colleges.
Especially at a high school level.
Yeah. But, again, we had 2 just phenomenal musicians that were such great teachers that you had no choice but to, once
You had
the
to love
first
it.
time you hear something that was jazz and you're exposed to some jazz song that's just kind of rocking on top of that, you're like, wow, this is jazz?
There you go.
And they had kids that were, living out on farms that were listening to nothing but country, playing jazz sax solos out.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, there was nothing wrong with it at all.
But once you got your eclectic list picked out, are you guys picking them? Are your fans showing up and saying, I'd love to hear you do this? I'd love to hear you do that? Or are you guys just getting in a room and saying, I want these, well, I want
We've
those?
called a lot of audibles at the line because we trust each other as musicians enough. He'll pull up his iPad, figure out the chords. I've heard the song. I'm just beating on pots and pans.
Right, we don't have
and
notes,
we've,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
We have thrown stuff out there we've never played before. Well, they've played each other a lot. They've known each other longer. So there's songs they know that they'll throw at me just like, well, pretty sure you heard it, and I'm not afraid to try. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
Well, our original Facebook Murder Hornets page has been, was it the Circle of Fifths? And then it was, Tyler and I have been in about 3 or 4 bands together. So we just kept changing the name, and then finally I said, here, just take this so
This
I
stuff.
don't have to deal with
This one
it.
stuff.
But Yeah, so, I mean, with us, what we try and do is,
Sorry, could you say that again?
Oh, sorry. Jerry doesn't agree with you at all.
so, when I was a kid, I was taught, when I took guitar lessons, and the guitar teachers and my music teachers said, make it your own, come up with your own style, don't play like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought, well, I'd steal a couple licks from this guy and a couple licks from this guy, and then some bizarre licks from this guy over here. And when we put something together, you may not even know what it is until you hear the chorus.
Right.
Because we may not even be playing the right chords. We may, sometimes we'll be playing a song that you know it's that song, but
I want you to know that that is my new excuse. If our band makes a mistake, we'll be like, "That's the Murder Hornets version."
Hey, mashups are in, you know.
That's no,
Yeah,
definitely. So, and you're classically trained. Are you classically trained? You just learned how to play.
Just learned it. I mean, high school band just to, I don't know, get a credit in high school.
But there's some
But
training
learn to read
when you
music,
do it.
you know what I mean? Like,
there's some
I
training
mean, I got
there.
a little from it, but it just, ooh, I can do this. Yeah.
There you go.
Went to
Okay.
concerts and
And what
watched
about
the
you?
drummer.
When I was a kid, I started playing piano. I played the trumpet in high school. But I wanted to rock. I wanted to be up front, so I started playing guitar. But then, because there's like many guitar players, you know, I
Right.
wanted to stay busy. I needed a job, so you know, I became a bass player and been doing
Which
it
is
for
definitely
the past,
harder.
To me, what was harder was losing the pick. You know,
Oh no, I
because-
mean harder to find a bass player than it is to
Oh,
find
yeah,
a
yeah.
guitar
Oh
player.
yeah, absolutely. You know,
Yeah, that is the struggle.
and now I've been doing it, you know, playing bass professionally for the past, since 98 or so, 97, 98.
So it's now a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
It's funny. We went to a restaurant, and there's this guy there, and he's playing piano. Right upstairs area, he's playing Baby Grand, and at some point he got up, he took out a accordion, and he was going table to table, saying hi to everybody and doing whatever. And so he comes over to our table, and I said, "So which one of these is your instrument? Do you play the accordion or do you play the piano? What's your instrument?" And he says, "Oh no, I'm a piano player. I only learned the accordion for my job." And I said, "Well, how long have you worked here?" He's like, "Well, 39 years." I'm like, "Well, then it's your instrument now, bro. 39 years.
Yeah.
Now you know both, right?"
Yeah.
So I get it. You start out on this one, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm going to do this one." You know, you guys seem to really click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you the truth. So Haley came in first because she was here early, and we were talking, and she's like, "You know, I manage the guys, I do the booking, I run the social, and you know, I handle all of this, and I point to it, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm about to interview 3 doorknobs. They aren't going to talk. They're not going to talk. Mom tells them what to do.
No,
You guys seem like a ton of fun. When is the next Murder Hornet show?
This Sunday, Monday.
At Sorry Charlie's.
Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
The old Mike's
So
Corner.
for those of you who don't know, because Haley explained it to me,
Yeah.
if you're driving from I-4 to New Smyrna, there is literally, like just past the speedway,
Yeah.
what looks like an abandoned house with cars.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just this little thing on the
Well,
side of the road.
Sorry,
it has
Charlie
a light
has
up
cleaned
sign.
it up. Solid Charlie.
Okay,
cleaned
'cause I
it up.
haven't
It
seen
used
it
to be
long.
Mike's.
Okay, that's
they took
when.
it over in February.
Okay, so
We
they
did
brought
the
this thing back
fence,
to
drug
life.
the cars out of the yard,
Okay.
painted it a little bit. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Got
because
it
when
up to
she
code.
said, when she told
Yeah.
me where it was, I'm like,
Yeah,
what in the
that's-
hell are they doing?
It's
Okay, so this has been
Find
brought
out.
to a venue. Okay, well that's
Yeah.
cool. How
It's
big
been-
is it in there? Have you been in
It's
there?
not,
Not big.
It's gonna be a first.
Because it was a house at some
yeah,
point,
at some
wasn't
point,
it?
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys are just
well, it's
We'll be playing
it's Sunday
outside.
afternoon, 4th of July. We're going to set up outside. There's
Outside.
fireworks after. Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I went and did the recon.
I want to
and,
hear
like,
how this is. This could be like one of those really cool down home
Like I
places.
said, it's been Mike's Corner forever, and
I
a
don't
new
think-
owner took over and cleaned it up, spaced it out, put in, cleaned the place up.
Because when it was Mike's Corner,
It was Mike's
actually,
Corner
I
forever.
didn't even, other than the lighted sign in the window, you wouldn't know that that's a.
It was a little
place,
It was
you know,
a
it's
little
just a-
bar, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Sam Sula.
Now, are you guys, just the small venue made me think of this. Are you in here, or are you showing up with like PA monitors, all of this stuff?
we have our monitors are 2 little head rush 8-inch monitors.
Okay.
So they're loud enough that as long as they're one's pointed at him and one's pointed at him,
You're fine.
I'm okay. I can kind of hear
We can hear
myself.
each other.
and-
Well, they can hear me definitely.
Okay,
but,
so you don't take
no.
a lot of stage room anyway.
No,
No,
not
no.
really.
And what's after July 4th weekend?
Private party on July 4th. Next
And-
weekend. That's you got to ask her. Where's your book?
Well, I
After
stumped you.
JJ's.
You did stump.
I
me.
Oh,
stumped you.
JJ's. No.
Isn't
Mark's
Jake?
Sports Pub, the 8th and the 9th.
All right.
And
I
then
think I'm
Jake-
off the 8th. I may have to make the trip. I will tell you. So I love Mark's. Played there for years with a band called Almost Unknown. Played there for years. I still, if Mark watches this, he's gonna be like, "Why? Why did you tell them that?" I was standing out front with my wife watching another band play, and we're just in the bar. Right, we came to support. And do you remember Angie? Were you there long enough to go? I don't think Angie's still there. She was Mark's girlfriend for a long time. And she came up to me,
No, we just know
infuriated. And she's like, "Why in the hell are you playing this crap in my bar? We've talked about this before. Why are you guys, this and that and whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is she talking about? Because I'm not in the band and the band is playing. And she walked away furious and came back like 10 minutes later and was like, "You're not even playing right now." I'm like, "No." She's like, "I don't know what came over me. I don't know why I'm hassling you, but you're clearly not playing in your drink's on me." And just like walked back away like it was nothing. And I had the same thing with, in the reverse, Mark used to come up and play drums, like the cowbell or the whatever, and like goof off with the band.
Yes,
And,
we get that.
and he came up and played cowbell on something, and our tempo shifted. Mark's playing cowbell, and our singer is turning around, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not doing anything. It's over there."
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, nobody's going to get us in trouble this Mark. So I hope you guys have a killer time there. I may try and swing over there. I tried to catch, I think it was Sesame Plexer, 2 weeks ago because we played Hard Rock, but we went over, and I couldn't get there before they were done. So I'm going to try and get out there and check it out. And they can find you guys on Facebook.
They played the Marks till like 1:30.
Yeah,
but you play at Hard Rock.
We were wound up till close to midnight, and then loading in and out of there is not 2 seconds.
No,
it's
I
the
know
third
venue.
floor and
Yeah,
up the thing
yeah,
and
yeah.
So we were like, no, we're done. We're done. The I was gonna. Oh, so what's your URL for the Facebook page? Facebook.com/ is it the Murder Hornets?
The Murder Hornets Band.
The Murder Hornets Band.
Band is our.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
Okay.
because when I tried to name it the Murder Hornets, it was against Facebook policy.
Don't you love that? So I own a marketing firm during the day. I fight with this all the time, where their thing is like, "Oh, you can't." And now the new thing is, you'll post something and it'll delete your account, deactivate it, and be like, "You're off. You can appeal if you want to. You're gone."
Just a little funny footnote. We hosted a jam at Winter's Pub. Well, when we first went to name it, she had the bright idea to call it the Murder Jam. I'm like, there's no. It's called the Hornet Jam.
Yeah, it's probably not going to go.
But she's like, we'll call it that. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
I had to change it quick. It's
yeah.
the Hornet Jam.
That's gonna get red flag quick. The Hornet Jam.
I am absolutely looking forward to checking out a show. This sounds. I didn't know what I was getting. Like, I'll admit, I didn't do any research first or anything. You have been so nice back and forth that as soon as Tom was like, "Everyone loves the name," I'm like, "They really do. Let's just get them out here." Okay, cool. And so I didn't get to look at it. Like I said, I thought you were singing lead. Because we talked, and so I didn't know. So this sounds awesome.
And this guy?
No, I didn't even know you were in the band. Like, that's how out of touch I was with this. So I'm very excited to see a show. I definitely want to catch some video, particularly of this. What is it called? Sorry, Charlie's now.
Yes.
I want to see that. I hope you guys have a killer July 4th. I appreciate you making the time to come on and tell everybody a little bit about about what you're doing. And if you want to find them, Facebook.com / Murder Hornets Band. And there may be.
Come get buzzed with us.
Come get buzzed with it. I like it. Come get buzzed with it. You guys have a great 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you real soon.
Thanks
for
the
bro. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dave.
You bet.